Here's a really long cat. Why does it only show me chapter? Why does it only show chapter 1? I bought the other ones. Yeah, I spent a fortune. I spent a fortune on them. Am I a goofball? I did install them, yeah. Believe it or not, I actually do know what I'm doing. I don't, delusional. Lying to myself. Interesting, Billie Eilish, No, chill, that's valid. I mean, like I said, I used to stream at this hour, man. And then I had to pick up the pieces of a 7-year relationship. That ended brutally. Huh? 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 It's a good emote, Brett. I like it. Oh, we're on second loop of what was I made for. This isn't good. Quick, bring the beat in. Quick, bring the beat in. Bring the beat in. Oh, it's updating. My thing's updating. Okay. This ain't Texas. Quick, what should we do while it updates? I'm not playing Mungus. Check the Fortnite shop. No. Then I gotta boot that bitch up. Marbles? No. Like, literally 5 minutes. Literally 5 minutes. I need you. I need you too, man. Quick snap game? No, quick cover game. Quick cover game. So weird from me being on the right. Right? Like when I switched to the scene, your eyes instinctively went that way. Begs the question. Don't be a bitch. Come take it to the flow. I'm different. Okay, 70%, 70%. Quick, we need to buy more time. You said we look at you? My bad. Alright, we're throwing it back really quick. Bug, as you should. Well done. We're throwing it back really quick to waste some time. Mexico. No. Probably in Europe then. Belgium. This country borders Belgium by 265 miles, which means it's probably not Nordic. Could be. It could be, hear me out. Hear me out. Austria. It does border Austria, which means we're looking at... It borders Austria, which means we're looking at... What borders Austria? Hungary. It's above Austria. Germany. What's to the right of Germany? Switzerland. What's under Poland? What's above Switzerland? Slovenia. What's under Poland above Czech Republic? It was Chechnya. Nice. Well, good job, guys. Wow, incredible. Hey, that was fun. That's a throwback. All right, I think we're good now. It's at 99%. Since when is it Chechnya? Ugh. Early 2022 class, yeah. Okay, I think we're good now. I had to reset it. Huggy Wuggy eats your family. What are you doing next? Hey, Jake. The different setting for each game? What? That's so weird, dude. That's kind of weird, dude. Okay, dude, that's kind of weird, dude. No motion blur, no bloom. Say it with me. No motion blur, no boom. No grain filter. So loud? Sorry, hold on. Is that better? I like motion blur. I don't like it because I'm a dizzy guy. I'm like a dizzy little guy. Okay, well. YouTube, you will never see this content unless you've found your way to this channel at some point in the last 90 days that I've played this and discovered the Poppy Playtime VOD. Now, I know why you're here. You caught a glimpse of some of my content on YouTube, sort of, you know, edited down nice and concise, right? And you just couldn't wait to get more. Now, unfortunately, you will not be seeing this. Goodbye. Was that good? Oh, why is that moving? Oh, sorry. With Poppy now free, the situation begins to change rapidly while you search for any way to escape the factory. Ooh, I'm really scared. Let's go. Ooh, this is harrowing. Because we used to pray for times like this. No one thought I'd be here playing Poppy Playtime. Oh.
With Playtime Co.'s new patented elastic plastic, you can stretch, pull, and twist Mommy Longlegs in the craziest ways. She loves watching you play. When you're having fun, she's having fun. the new Mommy Longlegs from Playtime Co. What's the time?
You need her. I'm hearing fire. I'm hearing. I think it's still kind of. Oh. I think it's still kind of loud. Oh, I heard it.
Wake up.
I'm awoke. Puppy Playtime Chapter 2. Puppy. Oh, I'm just like straight up spawned in this bitch? Why don't I tone that down and turn the mouse speed down too, and also put this on 144 and also resume. Looks good, smells good. Feels good. Ooh, I'm kind of like really frightened. So apparently this chapter is decent. Betty Spaghetti? No. What's her name? Mother Stretchy? What's her name? Stretch Armstrong? Well, I forgot her name. Oh, that. I don't know about all that. Stretchy mamas. Oh, it's Hugs Wugs. He's cool. I like that guy. Well, I actually don't. We all heard that? No? Okay. Maybe it's too quiet. Oh. I gotta say the graphics are way better on this one than chapter 1. It's like a whole new game. It's interesting. Elliot Ludwig. Yeah, I guess we'll go in his house, see what's up. What's up, dog? Oh, can't go fuck myself.
Keep going.
Wait, that's kind of like a yippee moment. Oh, that's really cool. Yep. New mechanics. Press here. Okay, last time I did that in the SpongeBob game.
Does someone need a hug? Give me a big squeeze. I promise I won't bite.
So Huggy Wuggy's dead, right? Like, he's not gonna bother us? How do I hug him?
Come closer, friend.
Oh! This is really creepy. What am I supposed to do? Oh, see now I have two, so I can stimulate both nipples at a same time. Was I supposed to Was I supposed to go back with Huggy? I don't know what to do with Huggy. Oh, do I have to do... Imagine if I have to go in here. That would be silly. Ew. Didn't even use an innuendo. Well, I had to be direct or you guys wouldn't understand. Key. Oh, they even redid this whole UI and everything? Man, alright, let's go to Ludwig's house. Yippee! Papa. Oh, this looks kind of cool. There's a TV in the office. Candy cat. My best friend is a dinosaur. The pillows jumped in the air. Thank you, Mr. Ludwig. Huggy and Kissy. Please make more good toys. Oh, Missy and Huggy. Okay. What's this? How do I read it? This experiment utilized a live rat. Rat was fed 3 portions daily. At the end of the 2 weeks, the rat was killed and submerged into a poppy flower. Believe the potential of the poppy flower. Its unusual properties lead me to believe the proper mixture and procedure could have life-altering properties. Poppy flower has for a long time carried heavy symbolism. I don't believe this is for a reason. It's for no reason. Okay. Cool. Oh, sick, man. Alright, let's play the movie. Chapter 1, we just explored
Playtime Co. is the product of a great man by the name of Elliot Ludwig. Divorced, but a family man at heart. His sights were always set on bringing amazing toys to amazing children around the globe. Ludwig spent countless hours in the factory, working overtime relentlessly in an attempt to continuously innovate and surprise. In the 1960s, an unfortunate family death had pushed Ludwig down to his lowest. But with so much ambition, he rose back up and continued to fulfill his vision for the Playtime Co. toy factory. Ludwig could never be content leaving a project unfinished.
Me.
But just how did one man come to create such an astounding empire? How did he manage to stay determined even after suffering such a tragic loss?
Smoke, you can put it in
It
chat.
all began in the fateful year
So everyone-
of 19...
So everyone knows. Oh. Okay. You can put it in chat. We could all use a refresher. You can type in essay. It all started in 19... It all started in 19... Who's Daisy? Roll to browse. Do it this thing. Oh, that's the inspo for Miss Mother. It all started in 9... When Ludwig was 7 years... An untimely death in the... Didn't know what that sound was at first. It was just your boy. Are there subtitles perchance? You are a soggy cracker, but I would be surprised if there wasn't subtitles. Color me surprised. Fill me in. Color me surprised. Out of context whiskey was found unconscious.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to scare you. I was just trying power back on. Here.
Thanks, mother. I gotta wrap it around this thing. So we'll wrap around.
I wanted to thank you for freeing me. I was stuck in there for so long. Thank you. I'd like to pay you back. There's a train station nearby. It needs a code, and I have it. We're gonna get out of here.
Kind of love her a little bit.
As soon as you get on up here.
Kind of a big fan of hers.
Come on.
Yeah, hold on, babe.
While I'm still a doll.
Okay, Jesus. Hold on, shorty. Shorty's like a...
Don't you want to come with me?
Yeah.
You're making me sad.
Oh, hold on. I don't... What am I supposed to... Because you never leave a girl waiting. Babe already? Yeah, well, we want to be on good terms. Babe, how do I get up there? Oh, boy. Maybe there's like a Swingy Johnson thing? Or maybe... Here's it to go like this. This game doesn't strike me as something that would have parkour in it, you know what I mean? I need more words of encouragement from her. What if you just take too long and she just kills you? This is so goofy. This can't be the right thing to do, right? Now, physics dictates that this should eventually work, right? Okay, so now... Hey, queen! Is that right? What? The big glowing rod? Yeah, Jacksepticeye has in a lot of... What's it called? Big glowing rod. What big glowing rod? Oh. Where does she... He's gone? Where'd I go? Was I going the right way? This has to be the right way. This has to be the right way. And she's gonna open the other door. Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm up
Okay.
here. I see you. I should be able to follow you through the fence. This way.
Okay, see, I was right. Nice. I cooked a thing or two. Now I did it by stacking the boxes, but you know, all good. Okay, we don't want to die here. That was some Indiana Jones type shit. All right, here we go. Shorty, where you at? Girl.
Listen, I'm going to need you to trust me.
Not my Pookie Bear. Not my Pookie Bear. And that was Stretch Mommy who got her? Yo, that's fucking terrible, man. Can I go inside the hole? Oh, nice. Laundry chute. Power. The game is so quiet, it's so eerie. Is this power? Oh, what? If you pull back too hard. Hold on, hold on. If you pull back too hard, but once you start the power, it closes the thing. Girl, what? Oh, you can use your hands to do that. Ooh, this looks like a really good puzzle to be stuck on for 45 minutes. What do y'all think? So I can stretch really far. Can I shoot here? They wouldn't give you this nook in the corner if you didn't have to utilize it, right? Happy weekend to everybody, except people with the year 1997 tattooed on their body anywhere. People whose mother's name is Annalise. And people who had an acai bowl for breakfast. Okay, alright. Oh, everyone's safe now, huh? Okay. Easily safe, okay. Damn. So if I can't touch this thing... And how am I supposed... Oh, maybe. All right, question. Can the puzzle be done in this room? Blink twice for yes, blink 40 times for no. Okay, yes. Okay, follow-up question. Is it simply a puzzle of positioning? Or is there a third party that needs to be manipulated? Yeah, okay. All right. Huh? Huh? No. Oh, I had it. Okay, listen, I know that was cheesy, but in theory that should have worked. Oh, you need to use the blue pipe to manipulate the positioning. Wait, what am I doing? Oh! 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 Yeah. Okay, now I do this. Oh! That's how Dad did it. That's how America does it. And it's worked out pretty well so far. Brain blast. The purpose of the puzzle is to stimulate your mind and also your memories. Indicate what happened and why. So you conduct electricity through your noodle arms.
A new playmate! It's been so long. Isn't this exciting, Poppy? Very exciting, Mommy. Mommy heard that Miss Poppy was going to just give you the train code to escape. Now, how is that fun? Instead, why don't we make a game out of it?
No, I'm good.
The game station is still working.
I'm good.
It will be just like old times. And if you win all 3 games, I'll give you the train code. Mommy loves that idea, Puppy. Oh, you're going to have so much fun. Head to musical memory, and Mommy will get things started. Obey the rules, or I'll tear you apart and eat your insides while you're still alive.
Me when the confident woman tells me to do anything. Guys, name 3 things better than a confident woman. Let me stop you there. There's none. Oh, the whole gang is here. We got Huggy Wuggy. We got Stretch Mommy. We got Missy. We got Daniel the dinosaur. We got Belion the bee lion. We have Rosario the rabbit. We have Avril Lavigne. We have Mars Martian from Looney Tunes. And Steve. You're delayed, no worries. This is so cool and fun. I love that. I love games. Got all that shit going on. Wee. Why is there bird shit on the bench? Me when the woman with the rotund derriere tells me to do anything. Oh, we got... Oh, what is that? Oh, there's mad spider webs. Whack a Wookie? Usually whack my Wookie after stream, but... Okay. Damn, what's up, mamas?
Preparing for departure in 3, 2, 1.
No, wait. Oh, she's bluffing.
Hi, kids. Welcome to the game station. I'm Stella, and we've got 3 super-duper fun games to play. These little tests show us just how crazy strong and smart you are. Follow Mommy Longlegs down the stairs, and we'll start by playing musical memory. See you in a bit.
Mommy Longlegs. Oh, this is so fun. I like this. I like the format of this game. It's cool. You know, it's like there's one central area, and then it sort of diverts into 3 different things. So it's like fairly linear, but also like it, you know, it leaves you open to exploring.
I know when your birthday is. June 28th.
Nope. Try again. Thanks, Dad. Guys, happy weekend to everybody, especially people whose birthday is June 28th. Hi, Vivian. How are you?
Make a wish.
Guys, everyone shut the fuck up. Hello, I am the creator of Poppy Playtime, aka Mob Entertainment. I just want to announce that someone in this stream is going to be the mod for Poppy Playtime. Oprah! No way! Everyone, shut the fuck up, line up, sit up straight. Best foot forward. One of you lucky chatters is going to be the next mod for Poppy Playtime. That's fucking sick. Put some full screen. I think it might be a beat beta. Hold on. Sorry, hold on. Give me a sec. Oh, hold on. Don't freak out. Oof. First mod is Pizza Hut. Wow, you are the official mod of Poppy Playtime. That's fucking incredible, man. No. That is awesome. Okay, I think we're better now. My chat was a little laggy, so I think it might be. Maybe not. Bear with me. Enjoy the modding crowning going on. One sec. Bear with me. Bear with me. Bear with me. What if we ran DirectX 12 just as a bit? Oh, that is better. Okay, cool. The last one is drumroll, please. I got you. That's incredible, man. We really appreciate what you've done, and the game is a lot of fun. We're having a good time with it. Oh, this is dreadful, really.
Okay, 14 months. We love some Poppy Playtime. Meow.
We do. I know that's right. PD is the last. Wow, congrats, man. Make my own hand. Oh, true, Vivian. Good call, good call, good call. No spoilers. Guys, round of applause for all our brand new Poppy anointed moderators. We have been blessed by Mob Entertainment, the creator of the game. Alright, let's do this thing. Oh, that's fun. Safety first. Type shit. What is this? What is this? What is this? Me taking 55 Advils in the morning for breakfast. Don't type need. Don't type need in all caps. 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 Oh, and well, we have one more. We have one more puppy mod. Tina Panini, congrats. It says just chatting. I switched it. No. Am I a sack of? Is my a sack of manure? Guys, ask yourselves: am I on Poppy Playtime directory, or am I on just chatting? It is Poppy. Thank you, minor hit moderator. Do not enter. I've heard that before. Play this bitch. I just started part 2, Basil. Yeah. I love this song. Oh, Canada, our home. What's the time? Playtime. Get your stretch mommy today. I think I need the juice though. Yup, I know that's right. Boing. Yeah, all hands on deck. You're welcome. Thank you for making this game. A whiskey. A whiskey. Oh, they fucking they splashed green shit on it. No paint in machine. I could fix that. You just gotta go up here. There's the green stuff. There it is. There it is. There it is, just there it is. Try that one more time. Need. TD, you will be a voice actor for chapter 4? What? That's fucking awesome! Can I be a voice actor? Big break. Bro's gonna be in there whispering and shit. Come this way with Huggy Wuggy. Alright, what's this button do? Textures person. Wow. 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 If you told me today that the creator of Poppy Playtime was gonna come in and just hand out jobs like candy, I would have fucking... Damn, dude. That's fucking cool. Look at us. Look at us, man. Now the question is... Oh, I got that green shit on. Question is, can we do anything else silly with this or no? Probably not. Alright, I'm out. I'm not really scared of Stretch Mommy like I am scared of the other guy. Other guy's way scarier. Teeny Panini will create the character and Luigi can do all the writing. Wow. Congrats, guys. That's freaking awesome. That's freaking sick. Or did I just hear noise? Riduce. Reuse. Recicle. Ain't that the guy from Cuphead that goes like this? Or am I thinking of someone else? I speak Italian, yeah. Poquito. Un peu. My favorite Cuphead boss. It's almost time for our yearly Cuphead speedrun. Or are you guys not rocking with me like that?
Happy birthday! Oh, happy birthday! Oh, happy birthday! Oh, happy birthday! Happy birthday to you!
You. I mean, he tried to do it like me. Another drum roll? Yes, the co-owner of the company. Co-owner of the company is... Yeah, last one. Wow, Lulu, congrats. All right, thanks, buddy. I think we're all booked up for jobs, though. Appreciate you. Is that what I think it is?
Welcome to Musical Memory.
Thanks!
This advanced memory and cognitive recognition
Why is it
test
so loud?
is designed to stimulate several segments of the brain, allowing us to see how quickly and efficiently your brain
how quickly and efficient
works. A sequence of colors will be shown, and you must recreate the exact sequence using the buttons around you.
It's Fall Guys.
Bunzo will slowly lower towards you. When you complete a color pattern correctly, Bunzo will rise back up. When you input a pattern incorrectly, Bunzo will lower towards you faster. If Bunzo reaches you, your test is over. The test will become more difficult as it continues.
You bet.
With longer patterns in quicker succession. That's all. Good luck.
So loud. The Fitness Gram Pacer Test is a multi-stage aerobic...
Oh, isn't it amazing? Mommy hasn't seen the place up and running in years. Mommy can only imagine how excited Bunzo must be. It's been such a long time since he's been able to play, to cheer, to eat. Oh, that's the dinner bell. Good luck.
Red. Red. Yellow. Red. Yellow.
Walk in.
Red. Yellow. Red.
Walk in, walk in, walk in, walk in.
Red. Yellow. Red. 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 Yellow. Red. 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 Round 2. Yellow. Yellow, yellow. Yellow, yellow, green.
You think the colors are gonna change?
Yellow, yellow, green, yellow.
You think they're gonna move?
Yellow, yellow, green, yellow, blue. Yellow, yellow, green, yellow, blue, violet. Round 3. Violet. Violet, red.
I don't like having to turn now.
Violet, red, orange. Violet, red, orange, violet.
I'm slaying.
Violet, red, orange, violet, blue. Violet, red, orange, violet, blue, white.
That was really hard.
Round 4. Blue. Blue J.
Blue Jay?
Blue J, heart.
What is happening?
Blue J, heart, violet. Blue J, heart, violet,
Pie. Blue J heart violet pie.
Blue J, heart, violet, violet.
Blue J heart violet pie violet.
Round 5.
What?
Question yellow, Bergen, tangerine, yellow, mecca, blue, heart, yellow, massive, violet, mecca, green, lenda, heart, feminist, blue, pie, blue, heart, day, question mark, heart, red, revenue, tangerine.
What the fuck is going on?
Oh, it broke. That's no fun. For doing such a splendid job, Mommy has decided to give you part of the code for the train. Look up. Take it.
Okay.
Mommy was hoping the game could last a little longer. It's okay, though. Mommy knows other ways to play with you.
Down Colossal. Oh, minor banned the owner. So guys, if you're just joining us, here's what happened. The owner and creator of Poppy Playtime came in and sort of delegated jobs, and we have now absorbed full ownership of the company, and we have replaced their seat. So we now the hit Whiskers. Hostile takeover, bit of a mutiny, if you will, yeah. Thanks, buddy, for all your help. Bro gave away too many jobs. I gotta turn the heater off. Why do we have robot arms? Guys, I'm gonna turn the heater off. Someone answer Quench's question. Be right back. Just cause, guys, think of a better answer. I'm gonna go Wee Whiz. Actually, I'll be right back. He's back. You guys know when you go to the bathroom and you do your business, yada yada, you feel great, right? You even get like a nice sort of euphoric shiver down your spine after you've done your business. And then you go to open the door, right? The door is like locked from the inside. So the panic sort of sets in. And then you like look around and then like a speaker, you notice a speaker has spawned like above like the bathtub. And then it says in this distorted voice, it sort of says like, you're trapped in here. Here's a series of puzzles. And then like the lights turn red. And then you have to sort of like figure it out. And you're sort of stuck in there until you do. You guys ever get that? It just happened, yeah. I sped ran it. Ain't that the way? Enzi, good to see you. How are ya? Poppy Playtime? It's a horror game where we're in a toy factory, and it's actually a decently good time. Other people have been clamoring for me to play it for some time now. Can't lie. My computer's a million degrees. Begs the question, should I put the frame rate down a little bit? And also maybe this. Also maybe this. And this. Okay. Does look really good visually, can't lie. Remember when we used to just pass out? Yeah, but then I figured, like, why would I just pass out in the bathroom when I could think of, like, intricate circumstances to put myself in? Situations, even. I have to put a fan on my computer. It's overheating. We don't play games that often, so the computer's stressing. Nancy, I'm doing great. It's good to see you. I think that's good. If you hear like, I did turn the heater off. If you hear like a clanking sound, don't worry about it. I did kick away, yeah. Guys, can we take a quick second to reflect on the fact that, like, on a typical day, I wouldn't even be live right now? Isn't that something? But now we're already feasting on the meat and potatoes of the stream. We used to pray for times like this. Mama Madge said he looks young tonight. I'm aging backwards, I think. It's literally just because I shaved. Literally? Because I have baby face. Oh, this place looks so fun. There's a dinosaur.
Wanna hear a dino joke? Click once for the question. Click again for the punchline.
Hey, that's me, the dinosaur. What do you get when you combine late-stage capitalism?
What do you call a dino with one eye?
Dinosaur.
Do you think he saw us?
That's from Jurassic Park. An eyesore. Eyesore is funny. Got pounded with 6 ads. Enzi, I'm sorry. If it makes you feel any better, I make like 8 sounds. And I can't help it. Also, that's an interesting way to put you got pounded. That sort of makes it more like appealing even. Owen the oven. Multiple cases of children receiving 3rd-degree burns.
What do you call a dinosaur who's a noisy sleeper?
A dinosaur.
A Tyrannosaurus!
It's a good one. What can you do, Hi Meg? Maybe he has one more.
What do you call the scariest dinosaur?
Joseph Stalin.
Me!
No, that wasn't funny. That's terrifying. Oh. Can I have it? Can I have the gold thing? Can I have the gold thing, please? I think I can get that, to be honest. Hoot, 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 hoot. I can't get it. Shit whack. It's not gonna turn around and kill me, right? From the dentist, yeah. That was fun. And you take the sticky hand, right? And then you come home after the dentist with your sticky hand, and usually you got a blue one. And then you'd first of all, you'd slap it on the car window in the back seat on the way home, and then when you got home, you would take the stretchy hand and you'd slap your sibling with it. And then they would grab onto it the second time you slapped them, and they would stretch it really far, and then you would both pull, and then they would let go, because they're your older sibling and they're smarter than you. So they would let go of the hand, and then it would fly back and slap you, and then you would cry and run to your mom. And then your mom wouldn't give a single shit, and she'd send both of you to your rooms, and then you'd just have to do homework, and now you're just pissed. Or you drop it and it gets all hairy. Right, exactly. Huh? Makes you think. Monkey in a Barrel was a smash hit. Oh man, alright. Let me get this out of here. This nice. Good times. Breezy Jupiter, thank you guys for the Now what happens if I go up here? Nobody's perfect. Be yourself. Accept me? Oh. Kind of hate her voice. Incinerate. Incinerate Kick Me Paul. Call retail stores. Launch with Avery Fry. World's first round box. Wait, that's actually kind of cool. Weight capacity. Lame. Wait, why does he have Riz? Sir poops a lot. Warning, pooping hazard. Stretch Mummy. Why don't we have the red hand? Because Mommy took it and I had to build myself a green hand. The green hand is cool because it can do this. It can transmit power. Why can't I move my mans though? That's the problem. Oh! Hold. We're on the precipice of a whiskey speedrunning masterclass. Broke the game. Okay, I can't do anything here anyway. Cool. Cool. No, Oreo's a good move always. I don't know what to do. Sir Poop Salad is here, but that's all we got, really. Yunar? Janelle? What up, dude? How the hell are ya? How was your stream? Sorry, my words are muted right now, but I hope you had a good stream. Ashby, good to see you. Erica, hi. Nar, hi. Ooh. Mac, what up, dude? Jupiter, hello. Hope the chatting was fun. JJ, howdy. You guys are playing Poppy Playtime. It's good to see you. I hope you had a fun time with Janelle. Guys, Janelle's fantastic. If you don't know her, go check her out. Brilliant, talented, extremely talented. Show-stopping. Oh. Scares me every time. Guys, I have a question. Gun to your head, Martian death laser pointed at the Earth. Right? Could you win a game of tic-tac-toe against your uncle? Now, there's a few stipulations here. A, your uncle has had 4 beers. B, your annoying cousin is there. C, you're bloated. Gun to your head, Martian death laser pointed at the Earth. Confidently, yes. Wow. But I feel like uncles are good at tic-tac-toe. Absolutely. I love the... It sounds like Thanksgiving, right? It's the confidence is admirable. He's had 4 beers, but like, I don't know. If you gave me 4 beers, I could beat you in tic-tac-toe. Maybe at least tie. False propaganda. Because isn't there a strat for tic-tac-toe where you can genuinely never lose? Isn't there like a strat? And it's like not hard to learn. You just like always go at a certain point. Yeah, so it's tricky because you have to beat your uncle, not just not lose. Just an L in any corner. Yeah, but what if your uncle knows that? Then you're cooked. Dude, I don't know where to, I don't know where to go. I'm making up wacky uncle scenarios. All right, we got the video though. Let's peep this.
Well, it finally happened. After years of being ignored, the company actually heard all my complaints. Yep, they listened to them very carefully. I guess my words must have really inspired them to take action.
Yeah, no,
The next day I got demoted down here. To the freaking island of misfit toys! Why do I talk to myself?
Poor guy. Okay, same question, but it's Connect 4. Different story. Janelle, thank you again for bringing the pals over. I hope you had a really good time. If you got a blast and do blast things, post to stream blasts, please do. No, suddenly no one can play Connect 4. Mother! Oh, and Huggy Wuggy. Oh, and they got the monkey thing. Yeah, that's cool.
Wanna hear a dino joke? Click once for the question. Click again for the punchline.
What do you get when you combine your Uncle Jack with 6 Keystone Lights?
I really don't know where to go. Technical difficulties. I had difficulties too, and I'm barely holding it together with a fan on my computer, blowing at Mach 10 speeds. Guys, there's an assortment of words on the screen right now. Feel free to tag yourselves, and then we'll compare answers. There's an assortment of words, so pick what applies to you personally the best, and then maybe I just need to shock him. I am stumped. Why are we as a chat so good at tic-tac-toe but shit at Connect 4? Because tic-tac-toe is pretty simple, and like I said, you can tie, worst case. What do I do? Oh! It scares me every time. Oh, I got it. I got it. No, it's not even giddy up. Connect is for college educated people. Hey, I went to college. Remember that hit quote from the new hit YouTube video pinned at the top of the stream? Ten seconds, come on. Oh, I'm stuck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh! Oh. I see. But what do I need to grab? Exclamation ban. I forgot that was a command. Guys, if you ever say some dumb shit, exclamation vanish yourself. I forgot about that. Oh, we gotta move this shit all the way over here. Okay, damn. Oh, and everyone's gonna do it. Bye, chat. Bye, chatters. See ya. I don't want to be here anymore. Oh, because you smacked him on the ass, right? It's like, you know, it reminds me of that hit segment of my life where I rode the mechanical shaft, if you will. Let's keep it PG at TwitchCon. Nice. Well, it was a good effort. We gave it our best shot. Maybe that's beta. Oh shit. Yippee! Wait, what's the whole point of that? I could have got here by jumping on the ball. I could have got here by jumping on the ball, like 2 hours ago. This door wasn't open though. This was blocked. No, don't point and laugh. This was blocked to stop speedrunners like me. Made possible by viewers like you. Thank you. I'm also, Anna, was that you about the? Yeah, this isn't going on YouTube. YouTube has been spoiled lately. This is a Twitch exclusive early Saturday only exists today, deleting the VOD after the stream is over. Playthrough. Wow. 30 minutes of exercise daily. Oof. Guys, you get 30 minutes of exercise, right? Right? It's easy. It's 30 minutes. Do you not want to be healthy, happy people? Walk the dog, maybe? Like, for example, what I'll do when I don't feel like doing it, and this is a pro tip, maybe this will help some of you. I'll go into, like, creative, and I'll run around, and there won't be enemies, right? Because I'm in creative. So I do a couple laps, and I'll pick up, like, a few items just like so I have some weight on me, and I'll do a few laps. I do a few emotes, and then if I get thirsty, I'll pop minis, but it's like not that bad usually. Where's the power? Oh. Interesting. Interesting. Oh. Shit. Creative mode, yeah. Are we calling Eddie? No. I don't do drugs. I think if I did drugs, you guys wouldn't watch me anymore. I'll watch you even harder. Damn. 5 sets of whoa. This is a timed puzzle, I think. This is one of them, their timed puzzles. Check it out. Damn. Or maybe it's one of... Shit, dude. Okay, so we go here. I don't know how to do this. Can I touch this like slightly, maybe? Then I have to jump up here really quick and then do... Trixie. Didn't you smoke weed on stream once? Literally yesterday, yes. Bro thinks for Ronald Reagan. You know, statistically, there's a chance that one of you is Ronald Reagan. Guys, your favorite pink user named Baby Girl Chatter might be Ronald Reagan. Come back from the dead to monitor the liberal agenda. Uh-oh. I'm everything he hated. Poor? Okay, hold on, guys. I can figure this out. If I can single-handedly carry my team to the top of the bracket at TwitchCon Rivals 2023 in front of a massive audience on 0 hours of sleep, 0 calories, and peak anxiety, then why can't I solve a Poppy Playtime puzzle in the comfort of my own home amidst a carbon monoxide leak? If I touch this, that moves. I need to wrap around. I only get one hand. Unless... No. Imagine what you could do with both hands. No, I know, man, but I just... Why can't I light this one? Shit, dog. What if I did this? And then I let go of... Yep. Nice. We have to get up there first. Common misdirection. You see it all the time, right? In society today. And it's actually something that it's been a bit of a recent development, right? And it's because of this that it hasn't really been studied thoroughly. So we're left wondering, right? Picking up the pieces of... Am I down bad? Or does this crack in the wall look like someone posing, sticking out like a cunty leg through like a silky red dress slit on the red carpet at the Met Gala in 2019? Or am I just down bad? You see it? It's like this type of shit. Wait, wrong leg. The thing that I think a lot of streamers, they sort of forget is that you have to make sure that all chatters at all possible moments know that you have a tattoo, and a lot of streamers forget that. And I think it's holding a lot of people back. Why is there spider webs? I'm sort of putting 2 and 2 together here. Oh, especially because this was not spidered before. If there's spiders in this game, I'm gonna scream at the top of my lungs. Oh, that's why her name is Mommy. I see what's happening here. This is a ruse. It's all a ruse. It's a big trick. You guys are exploiting my biggest fear and putting it on display for thousands, nay millions. For my penultimate embarrassment. Shit. How's it going, Big O?
Preparing for departure in 3, 2, 1.
Whoa, you did fantastic. Who gave you permission to be this smart? Mommy is super proud of you, but I'm sure she's already told you that herself.
She hasn't.
Our next game is Wacko Wuggy. Head downstairs and have fun.
I feel like when someone says historically, when someone says have fun, I don't associate that with having fun. I just associate it with like being anxious. Let's unpack that. Chat, big plan today. So we're gonna unpack some things with pals and then do it all Fortnite cap. It does seem sarcastic. Have fun, or it's like this is such like a because I don't like roller coasters take when you go on a roller coaster and they're like have fun and they fucking like slam this like 9-pound bar on your lap and it's like digging into your thighs because you know, because my thighs are meaty. I did go by Beef Boy for a few grades in elementary school. You know. You only be embarrassed 2 times, true. Already did it with the, what's it called? With the mini crossword, time to whack my wuggy till the cows come home. Oh, garbage storage. Okay. 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 Oh. Oh. Oh.
Welcome to Wacko Wuggy. This advanced test is designed to assess the extent of your reactionary abilities. A dual palm grab pack will be provided to you for this test. Around you are 18 sizable holes. An adorable Huggy Wuggy toy could appear out of any one of these holes. If one comes out, hit it with your grab pack. That's all. Good luck.
The toys in this game used to have strings attached to them, so they could be pulled back when they got too close.
There are no strings on me.
Have fun.
Sizable holes was your nickname. Thought you dropped out. Oh. I see. Oh, this shit is easy. This shit is not easy. Oh. This isn't that scary, though. And the sound doesn't really seem to be accurate. It's also harrowingly dark. Oh, oh. Jesus Christ. Oh. So down to have nightmares tonight. There was a guy in there who didn't spawn yet. Oh. Walk in, walk in, walk in, walk in. Oh, now it's getting fun. Oh, okay, whoa, whoa, it's not getting fun. Ah! No, no, no! Fuck, that scared the shit out of me. Oh, fuck me, dude. The toys in this game.
So they could be pulled
There are no strings on me. Oh.
Have fun.
Man, I got carried away. There's 18 holes. I can barely keep track of my own 4, let alone 18? ¿Qué cosa? Bro doesn't wash his ass? That was terrible. It was really bad.
The toys in this game used to have strings attached to them, so they could be pulled back when they got too
Yeah. Here we go. Sign me up.
Have fun.
Have fun. Everyone say thank you, Stretch Mommy. See you soon for date night and dinner. Did I get lucky the first time? I think I just need a better pattern, maybe. Why do I hear noises? Fuck off. I swear he's in there. I swear he's in... Oh. Jesus, fuck, that was close. They'll do this sort of growling bullshit when they get close to coming out. Did you guys growl when you came out, or no? Mom, Dad, listen, I think it's time you guys know the truth. Come on. Shh, fuck, that was close. Why do I hear growling? Oh, okay, sorry.
Hooray! Mommy is so proud of you.
Say it again, say it again, say it again, say it again, say it again.
Mommy has another hint for you.
You deserve better than that, I'm sorry.
Game left to play. Sad. Mommy was hoping you'd stay here forever. Though, it's never too late to change your mind.
Okay. Monkey Riz never heard you guys. I totally forgot to tell you, but I have once again worked tirelessly. Oh, Kara, I was putting the Riz on. I have once again worked tirelessly to bring you guys a new hit emote that was formerly something else. It's titled the same thing. Whisk Sob, that's right. Whisk Sob. Now available on all platforms and all chats. Which reminds me, I gotta remove the Fleeting Sob, which actually Hammy made and added to 7TV, so it is a Whisk Kingdom original. Only available for the low price of $5 a month. Now you can go into all your favorite other chats, which you definitely don't frequent. But in case you wanted the option, yeah. What in the only up is happening here? Wherever he happens to be, the man is in Ireland. In his house, in his backyard, shoveling coal, doing what Irish people do. Oh, it's like that one scene in. It's like that one scene in the new Batman. Top of the morning.
What are you supposed to be? I'm vengeance.
Click the button to feed me candy.
Damn, Mama's all that?
Nom nom. Feed me more. Nom nom nom. More candy.
Oy. What up, Brain? Freedom, I didn't hear that.
Nom 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 nom. Okay, no more candy. My tummy's full. Nom nom nom. I said no more. Nom nom nom. Stop. Nom nom nom. Click the button to feed me candy.
Let's put him out of his misery. Say hi to the other cats. Oh, never mind. Got stuck there, buddy. Bear with me. Wham, wham, wham. What happens when you don't set boundaries real? I'm anticipating something nefarious. No, people will say they're in their villain arc, and it's just them standing up for themselves for the first time in their lives. In my villain era, and it's them not apologizing for something they never should have apologized for in the first place for the first time in their life. I'm the same way, it's okay. I get it. I've been trying to be better with it. That being said, I will be a colossal asshole for the rest of the year. You guys want to know the amount of brain rot I have? That's just cart corridors, right? It's not really brain rot. Maybe it's just like a hungry American take. I thought it said, when it was like this, covered, I thought it said giant corn dogs. And I got like excited. Like my heart rate went up by like 20. Giant corn dogs. Yeah. Honey mustard, barbecue sauce, sweet and sour. Dijon. Sure, you got cats up. Power the future. Exercise caution. Is it safe, Boba? Is it safe from what? Is it safe from me? Absolutely not. Soundtrack is scary. Yeah, she's pink. See, the pink actually represents friendship. And the blue actually represents boys will be boys. Ooh, pizza. Definitely not reading that, but I do love the enthusiasm, babe. Much love, XOXO Gossip Girl. The corn dog is not on the table because I shoved it down my gullet after dousing it with catsup. What's all this then? Huh? This is interesting to say the least. And the music is making it vehemently worse. It's one of those words that I famously pronounce wrong, that I still do. Vehemently just has so much more oomph to it, right? No one wants to say vehemently. Vehemently. Alright, so give me the juicer. And then I juice here. And I juice here. And I rejuice here. Which leads us to part 3, the juicening. Now what do I do? Go, 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 go. Wait, no, I go here, and then I go here. I blew it. I blew it. It's the twink.
Mind if I film this?
Oh, not at all, sir.
That's what I like to hear. So, Marcus, what happened?
You see, I was heading home for the day when my apars realized that I left me bloody wallet in the cafeteria. So I'm running through the lobby, and that's when I see it. A mop handle lodged under the innovation wing gate.
So what'd you do, Marcus?
Well, I just thought I'd nab the bloody yoke and be on me merry way.
And?
Well, I'm reaching for the thing, and the mop handle jolts on its own. Had me scared stiff. I thought I was the only one there. So I took a peek beneath the gate, and some massive bloody thing was doddering about the bloody hallway.
Thing? You're sure it wasn't a person?
Ain't no person that's 50 feet long with 1,000 legs.
Marcus, you're losing me. Maybe you just saw a bunch of people walking by.
Look, it wasn't people, alright? I haven't a bloody notion what it was, but it wasn't human.
Who have you told about this? Besides me, obviously.
Just you, sir. Obviously.
Okay. I'll have security skim the cameras and take a look.
What? There's a massive bloody monster! Skimming ain't gonna get rid of it!
You're out of line, Marcus. We make toys, not monsters. Now come on, get out of my sight. Actually, grab me a coffee, will you? Actually, never mind. Get out of my sight.
My name's Jackson today. Playing Puppy Playtime Chapter 2. I hope you're doing grand. I'm over the moon.
Why was that good? Because everything I've ever done in my life that I have put any effort into has been good, nay great, nay stellar. Delusion. Ah, fuck's sake. Ah, for fuck's sake. So I go here. Right, so we have 10 seconds on the dot. So I go boom. Then I rejuice here. Then I do this. Then I do this. And then I do this. And then I pull this bitch. Come here. Come here, buddy. Come here, buddy. Come here, buddy. Come here, buddy. Oh, it wasn't even timed anyway? Oh, fuck yeah, bud. Well, to nobody's surprise, another whiskey masterclass in puzzle solving. Alright, everyone say yippee. Wait, don't say it, don't say it, don't say it. I fucked up. I fucked up. Oh, I really fucked up. Put your yippee back where it came from. I fucked up real bad. There we go. Okay, say yippee. Yippee! It's like that one scene in Lord of the Rings where they go to the Mines of Moria. Right? And then, you know, Mary sits on the well, and the armor falls in, and then all the orcs wake up, and then Gandalf says, "Fool of a took," right? Never seen it. Happy weekend to everybody, except people who haven't seen the Lord of the Rings trilogy. People who have an aunt named Janet. And people who worked at Habit Burger and Grill in 2018. Terra 3 is kind of crazy. Damn. Oh, a lot of people have seen Lord of the Rings. That's good. All right, let's go down here. Surely nothing bad's gonna happen. It's time to get wacky. Oh, it's time for game number 3.
Before. You're so good. Seems like you're ready for the final game, statues. Follow Mommy down the stairs one last time. I hope you had a fun day at the game station. See you next time.
Open that bitch up. How do I unsee what? What did I do? I'm just a go. I'm just a go guy. Bill Nye the guy. Hungry to learn. Oh, Connor the Caterpillar. Shit, I didn't know he had mad legs, dude. Let's say what we asked to say.
Do you want to play with PJ?
Sure.
Caterpillar or bug?
Both?
I'm crawling on all 400s.
I'm going it off 400s.
I'm hungry for some delicious bones. Do you have some bones for PJ?
C'est quoi? He just say bones. Oh, hey, easy cowboy. Because you know you're doing a good job when someone says easy cowboy in a thick southern accent and then slaps your ass and then tips their hat. We've been there. We've all been there. I've been there multiple times. Wiki when Shrek scares. Excuse me, I was gonna make that joke. Woof 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 woof. Alright, check it out. Ready? Boom. Oh, this is something, dude. So I have to juice this, then I have to juice this, and then in the 10-second window I have to juice this, grab this, then juice this, then juice that. I don't even know why that worked, if I'm being honest. So I go back here, then I spin it round and around. This is the web that you weave. Restart. That's how we say hello in Arkansas. Yeah, real. Okay, so what's the move? How do I light this up? So it defaults to left, right? So we need to go here. That looks correct, right? And then we go... We have 10 seconds to get both. Okay, ready? Boom. Boom. I'm burning so much time. I had it! Hey, Toby, how are ya? Toby Maguire, everybody. Spider-Man from 2000. I loved when you went to the club and you were a total cock in front of MJ. And you put your bangs in front of your face and then you like ran on the table and then... And yeah. That shit was sick. Okay, so... Grab the juice, right? Boom. Boom. I already fucked up. Boom. 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 This is really hard. Madame Web. If I don't beat this in 5 minutes, happy weekend to everybody. No stipulations. Oh. What if I did this? Oh, it's that easy, folks. And then you can even just walk. Stop. Stop. So you stop it right. You down. Stop it right now. First of all, I did that puzzle wrong, correct? Like I cheesed it. You're supposed to, ideally you're supposed to grab the juice from here, do this, grab the thing, jump up, grab, but I walked on the wedge and crouched under the thing and just connected them. And it must have bugged the game to not need the poles. But there's a noise now. I did that puzzle. I cheesed it.
Welcome to Statues. This advanced
Red light, green
obstacle
light.
course is designed to test your physical endurance and strength. The rules are simple. The lights will turn off. You can move through the obstacle course at this time. However, when the lights turn on, you can look around but cannot move. You may move again once the lights turn back off. The lovable PJ Pugapillar will follow you. If PJ reaches you, your test is over. That's all. Good luck.
The Fitness Graham Pacer Test is a multi-stage anaerobic
It was always so sad to see the kids go. They called me Mommy because I was the closest thing they ever had to one. But they come for games and never come back. They left Mommy to die alone. Mommy didn't deserve that. But you worked here. So if anyone deserves to die alone, it's you.
Oh. Damn, mamas, all that shit. Do I have to go? Oh, it's open. It appears we have to lock in, folks. Hey, buddy. I see now, I see now, I see now, I see now, I see now. Oh, Christ. Hey, buddy. Yahoo! Woo! I have a question. What the fuck? What was I supposed to do? It was... Had to go the other way? Yeah, but how am I supposed to know that? You know? I'm sorry. Don't kill me. Ah! Now, I wasn't aware that caterpillars could fly. Shit. Alright. Real shit this time. Got a free hang? Balls out and everything? Just Johnson in the wind? Blowing a left and right? Okay, go. Medium. Yeah, I didn't realize that you could swing on the rings until I saw him go up there. It's actually very common in game design. You'll see an NPC actually execute a mechanic or perform a function that you're meant to do, and it's sort of like a slight guide, right, for the player. Here we go. Oh, that boy is on my ass. Oh, yeah, I see, buddy. Okay. I didn't mean it. Don't kill me. Fuck me, dude. What do I do? I'm dead. Okay. Cool, man. No, cool beans. Cool. This is chapter 2, Boogie. What up, dude? I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Like at that part, I feel like I did it correcto. Shit. Oh, I went down the tube by accident. Sorry. Go. I do like this chapter because it's fun, right? Everything's a game. Whack-a-mole, memory, stuff like that. It's like... It's a game within the game, right? The numbers, Mason, what do they mean? No, I just don't know what to do from the... What's it called? Once I get up here. And they probably give you a bit of a leeway. Yeah, I'm cooking them right now. I'm not cooking them. I'm not gonna get up. Bingo? Fuck, man. Oh, they're making this. He has a bar. I see it. Dude, please, I'm begging. I'm begging. Oh my god, I did it. I did it. But now what? Ah! Oh. Okay. Jesus. I really didn't want to fuck that up again. Is he still chasing me? Boo! Man. I don't trust mommy at all. She has a point though. Hold on, guys. She's got a point though. Like who? Like who am I to defy mother, right? Like who am I to defy I feel like something really, really bad's gonna happen. Like one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. Ouch. Broke my ankles. I feel like possibly one of the most horrific things I've ever witnessed on a computer screen is about to happen. Mommy's not a crazy maniac. They called me a crazy maniac, and look at me now. Dios mío. Nice, I escaped. I did not escape. Need me a baddie with the thorax. Oh, nice. Water treatment. Keep our company secure. Do I have a green videotape to watch, though? Do you guys also hear that chittering, or am I a guy? Chittering, such a cute word. Like if something chitters, sure, it's probably an insect with multiple legs, but it's a really cute description. Oh, I hate when games get quiet. Oh, alright, let's do this. Harper, what up, dude? Welcome back. Alright, listen up. Mommy Longlegs has the unique ability to stretch any of her limbs for several hundred feet. This includes her fingers, arms, hair, neck, waist, and legs. She's very hostile towards the staff, but is motherly and acts warm towards other experiments. She's protective of them. The hostility is quickly becoming problematic, much like your favorite streamer. But perhaps there is a solution to put her in her place. Mommy Longlegs would be perfect for facilitating everything with the children in the game station. She has the warmth that a mother should, and any rowdy child can learn to listen to their mother. Have her transferred to high security maintenance. Ooh, paper, that's a vile sentence, man. Alright. Oh, damn, dude. Yeah, you gotta do like a whole thing here. But also, why can't I just jump over? Like, who's to stop me? Innovation is key. Resistance is futile. Rotate bottom 90 degrees. Is that the bottom or the top? Or the top? Hey, that's not what I meant to do. Hey, come on. I like how I got it the first time. And ever since, it's been a bloody nightmare. Alright guys, check this out. Ready?
Meow, 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 but
One more time, from the top.
to be or not to be? That's the question. You and I were meant to be. Don't make me sting you. I'll do it. You need to get out of here. Just kidding. Go have fun.
Yeah, hey.
Meow, 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 but
Oh, this is one of them their puzzles. This is one of them their puzzles I keep hearing about on the on Fox News. Whoa, that's wild, man. So I go here. That's wrong. We want to go left. How do I flip this Johnson? We got a Johnson to flip and I don't know how to flip it. Oh, this one. Right, and then that guy goes there, and then that guy goes there. That is correct. Why are they stuck, though? Oh, that's... I picked up a Bonzo Bunny. Hi, Jess. How are you? So if I was a guy... I don't get it. You just pick up all those fucking toys. No. I don't know what to do. I have so many. What if, right? I don't know, actually. Okay. You got one already? That's what you needed? Oh, that's all that's all I needed? Thanks. What of Julianne? That's what happens when Julia and Julian collab. For too long, they morph into one super streamer. This begs the question, what do I, as a 6'6" white rotisserie male, have to perform here? Rotate top 90 degrees, that's not gonna help. Bingo. B-I-N-G-O. Because what if we played a game one time? Game show, random idea. Don't know why I'm thinking about this in the middle of Puppy Playtime Chapter 2 hit stream. I had a game show where I was Simon Says. And I invited a bunch of streamers and I did a big Simon Says game. Owen, are you smelling what I'm stepping in, Sensei? And there was like a huge production. There was like a big button and there was like a massive buzzer that went every time someone fucked up. And then they got like, they were sat on a springboard. And then when they fucked up, the springboard launches them and then they get a little maimed. IRL Squid Game. Kind of, yeah. But like with streamers. And like there's a big prize. Like the winner gets to actually keep doing streaming as a career. Doesn't have to be anxious about having volatile income. What's this?
Let's boogie.
I'm down.
Am I a real boy?
Should we tell him? Should we tell him?
The robot crossed the road. He was programmed to do it. I love you.
Me after holding hands with someone for 40 seconds. Me after locking eyes with the goth girl at the coffee shop wearing fishnets and downturn eyeliner with her hair up but kind of messy and like really prominent freckles on her nose. like 2 different chains on. The song. Oh, it's the song from the hit children's song. I don't know how it goes. You know what I mean, though? There once was a spider. You know what I mean? Am I cricket? Good moves. Itsy bitsy spider. Okay, you're not gonna believe me, but I am cooking here. Ready? Please lock in. The crack on the wall is shaped like Huggy Wuggy. Big ass trapezoidal head, skinny ass body, arms sticking out, legs. Victim of my own delusions? Or genius? Victim. Alright, dude. Victim it is. Where the fuck do I go? Itsy bitsy spider. Guys, to this day, in my ripe, wizened age, I do not know what a water spout is.
Do you love me?
Me to my ex after she cheated on me and then lied about it. Fuck, let's go back this way. Like the drain from your roof. That's what I figured. That's like what I imagined. Mayhaps we have to go to the game station. No, we have to go here. Down came the rain and... Yeah. Oh, we didn't even go this way. Alright guys, for the next 30 minutes, take a shot every time. Something harrowing shows up on screen. Bro. So you should be taking shots constantly. Get it? What if you're underage? If you're underage, then I'm questioning why you're watching my stream instead of pursuing an education. And then I'm asking myself, do I make kiddie content? How the fuck do I open this? It's Saturday night? Catching's true. It's a good reminder. It was a test. You guys learned a few things today. Right, of course. Arr. But what do I do? Wait. Wait. Now what? I think I just needed that. Cool. You can take it. education, some educate. I'm not gonna lie, when you said SME, I thought something else was coming. How do I gotta do this puzzle? Fuck. Well, what is the purpose? Oh, I think I need to walk. Oh, Lindsay, that's not. You're hour away? Can you also explain to your sister that there is a hit streamer absolutely starved for new chat victims to be subjugated to the yap? So I need to grab the green. And then I need to do... No, 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 no. Fuck. What did I do? 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 Let's watch the video.
The following is a pre-recorded announcement to address the many complaints regarding an alleged very, very big spider crawling around in the facility.
I'm sorry, what?
The Playtime Corporation wants me to remind you all that spiders that big do not exist, and that if they did, quote, we would already be dead anyway.
Right.
End quote. Regardless, you can all rest assured the company is sending some specialists down here to have a look around and relieve the constant whining. Complaining seems to be everyone's primary contribution to this company. It's just a spider. You are all safe. Please, please, carry on with your jobs.
There is no danger. Return to work. Somebody has to make minimum wage around here. So what? How do I... I think we gotta do this whole thing again. Is that Leith Pier? Yeah. Good eye, Boogie. You're hired. We could use your talent around here. Boom, right? Bam, bop. What? I'm so confused. It's a big circle. I don't understand. What is the purpose? What is the purpose? I understand the door is there so you can make it there faster. Oh, I didn't light the juicer. I light this juicer. You're joking. You're joking. Dios mío, papi. Medium spicy. Wait, Lindsay, Caucasian issue? I know what you mean. Like every time I go to like a place that has like typically spicy food, like Thai or like I don't even know. The scale is different. No spicy means my tongue is gonna burn off. Mild spicy means that I'm gonna get 3rd-degree burns all over my body. And spicy means that a 50 kiloton nuclear bomb is going to detonate within my body. And that's okay, I know my place in the world. Oh, this has to remain juicy. This has to remain juicy. I see. I don't see. Do I have to remain seated, hands and feet in the vehicle at all time? Oh, watch this. I think I got this ready. Boom. 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 Ah! Fuck, dude. Oh. Ugh. One more time from the top, from the top, from the top, from the top. From the top. Don't take the energy. Don't take the energy. I don't follow. POV people not following right now. Well, that don't add up, right? I mean, I don't know. Father Trevor told us, he told us last week that if I repent for my sins, then everything will be right. So, boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom. Bang! The buzzer beater. Holy shit, that was crazy. Father Trevor Widow. Anyone named Trevor is lying to you. Pro tip, if someone's name is Trevor, they are preying on your downfall. Now, what the hell did I just open up? Is this where the shit happens? Here we go.
I asked you to play fair,
Girl.
and you
No, no, girl, you open this fucking... Girl, you open this door right now, honey. Listen, listen, we can talk about this. No, 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 listen, baby,
And 10, 9, 8, 4,
Good hiding spot, 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 good hiding spot. Good hiding spot. Yep. Yep, that looks good. This looks good. Yep, put me down the hole. No, she's not going to come out of the darkness in the distance, right? Because that would be ridiculous. Okay, cool. You're coming with me, Box. You're going to protect me against the horrors of this dark domain. Oh, I remember this game. I remember this part. Oh, wait, wait, Mother! That was Mother down there. This is Eddie responding once again on behalf of Playtime Co. Yes, it must be in complete secrecy. This project should only be known about those with the authority at Warrenbach. Compensated for this secrecy upwards of $100,000, keeping in mind that this is a ballpark figure. Guys, I have a question, a legal question. I know there's a few of you guys in law school. Let's say I'm on the receiving end of a notice like this, right? Hey, your secrecy, $100,000, yay. I take the money, I spend it lavishly, and then maybe like 5 or 10 years down the line, I expose the company, root out the corruption, and I'm hailed as a hero. What is wrong with that? Like secrecy. I mean, these companies, they're terrified. The last thing they want is for you to reveal the secret. It's far more damaging than any financial or monetary fee they can hit you with. So I got all the cards here. The ball's in my court. I got the secrets. I don't give a fuck about $100,000 or $1 million. Now, what these people with power and money bank on so much is that money will shut you up and that everyone has a price. Now, it's a win-win. Either I ask for an exorbitant amount of money, or I sell the secrets. Firing squad. Okay, breach of contract, but then what? Happy Halloween. Then what? I get sued. So what? The company is still far more damaged than I am. Like, if I'm like, I don't know. Like, were they gonna kill me? Like, how far does it go, right? Like, at a certain point, they have to be like, fuck, we took an L. This person's life is kind of fucked. They broke contract, whatever. But, like, the company still took an L. I'm a martyr. So unless they actually lock me in a prison and then have contacts with prison gangs to get me killed in the small window of my prison transfer, I'm getting away with it. POV Jeffrey Epstein. It makes you think, where did this come from? Well, oh, and it says that there's secrecy, and like, as someone who wants nothing more than to see every conglomerate fail, I think it's a good discussion. I would love to be a whistleblower. Usually when they have whistleblowers in like, not confinement, like a safe house, like where you're protected, you're like in a safe house, they bring in Flo Rida to play whistle on the weekends to keep you entertained. And then they bring Josh Hutcherson too. Alright, where were we? Most boring thing I've seen? Damn. I will say I'm on episode 2 of Severance and I am enjoying it slightly. Don't jump down from the ceiling and make a loud noise. Please. Oh. See ya. Oh, I see. Do I have to hold it or something? Oh god. Okay, guys, write this down. 1 red, 3 green, 2 blue. 1 red, 2 blue, 3 green. That's all we got? What about red? Can you blow my whistle, baby, let me know. I had the joy, how to do it. Put your lipstick in, come real. Blow my 1 red, 2 blue, 3 green. So what's yellow? Just like that, folks. Another whiskey master class yet again. The people are on their feet. Oh my Jesus Christ. No. 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 Oh, yup. Yup. See ya, shorty. You can take it. Get up. Fuck. What am I supposed to do? What am I? A 6'8" powerless man. It is very flort. Like we've all said that once or twice. 2-hour situationship of 4 months. Ooh, you thought you were kind of exclusive because they made you think that way, and you never really had like a sit-down discussion about it to iron out the details, but then you were blindsided by the fact that they were seeing 2 other people the whole time they were seeing you, and then kind of made you feel icky about the whole thing, right? We've all been there multiple times. Oh, Jake. Wow, that was a vile cheer. Anyone else? Okay, let's try and figure this out legit, though. He's not here? What? That's scaring me that she's not here. I died. Did I not die? I died. So why is she not here? She's just gone. Oh. Ensure that the machinery is clear of debris. Why isn't Deborah allowed to work here? Wipe machine surfaces of a lubricant dirt. Everyone's always like, lubricant this, lubricant that. When am I gonna find someone who Lubra can? And Lubra wants to, you know? I'm sick and damn tired. Speak on it. Yeah, Uber, sure. Wow, that was a reach. But I'm rocking with the effort. Oh, I have to take the juicy cog. Put it in the hole. And then hit the power. Maybe not. What are we doing here? Yippee! Yippee! If they Woober wanted to, they Woober would. So serious. Listen, I know this sounds so wild, but some of you guys were with me last time, and I really do appreciate that. The broken wall here looks a lot like a capybara. Little ear in the back, mouth open a little bit, square ass face. Right, guys? Of course I'm right. I've never been wrong in my life. There's the eye. And there's the ear. Why did he high five across the map? Oh, mother, what long legs you fuck. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to objectify you. I'm sorry. I just maybe thought that we could. It was all a prank. She didn't mean any of it. Give me the big lever. Now listen, babe. I thought that we... I know, babe. I know. Listen, I didn't know. I didn't know you were home. You said you were gonna be out till 9, and then I don't know. The boys invited me out, and listen. I had a few drinks, and I don't know. Like Allison was there, and you know, like me and her, we never really sort of, we never. Yeah, there's loose ends there, and I just. You knew this when you signed up. Right? So like to come at me now with this misunderstanding is, I don't think it's very fair, right? So, wow. Let's everyone take a breath. Boo! Can you blow my whistle, baby, let me know. Oh, mommy's stretchy. Girl, if you don't open this door right now, I'm gonna fucking lose it. Ah! No, girl, no, you're good. Yeah. Yeah, you like that shit?
What have you done?
Yeah, turn that shit up.
Make me part of it.
Yeah, this is what I thought, bitch.
You can't do this to me.
You brought this upon yourself. Yeah, squish that big ass in there. There's always a bigger fish. There's always a bigger fish. That is... wow, that is... That is something else. What is this new devilry? Can you blow my whistle, baby? I hate how it gets quiet and you just hear the sound of your footsteps. This reminds me of Monsters Inc., like the scare floor. Baby! Come down from there.
Did you kill her?
Yup.
Good. I'll board the train. We need to leave.
Ew. Employee instructions. Let's keep a minimum distance of 20 yards away. Train will arrive with children. And the order of the game should be musical memory. Whack-a-woogie, then statue. Series of bridges. Mommy Longlegs can assist. Only one child should ever play the game. Children who are not playing wait in the game station. Record each child's performance. Give all reports to Miss Stella Graber. Shit. Whiskey break the game challenge. Difficulty instinctive. Difficulty bound to happen. Difficulty, I will find a way to break the game. Uh-oh. Oh, man, we're back here. Oh, never mind. I thought that was like before the chase and stuff. I was about to be vehemently upset. Does not sound right when you say vehemently. Oh, we have to squish her big ass into the thing, though.
What have you done? You make me part of you! You can't do this to me!
I'll be taking that. You know what? Call me silly. But it kind of breaks the immersion a bit that I can't grab the head. Do you know what I mean? I'm sorry. But do you know what I mean, though? Like, I know I died and, like, canonically my memories are wiped and I don't know what's gonna happen, right? But it would be cooler if, like, you can try and grab the head and the developer was, like, 2 steps ahead and they were like, hey, we know you're gonna grab the head because you probably died. Because you suck. So now we're gonna add a mechanic where if you grab the head, the arms shoot out, but the mechanical spider hand goes like this. Now for me personally, that would make the game better. Because then in my head I'm like, okay. Can you blow my whistle, baby? Whistle, baby, let me know. No, I don't want head. Well, I just want to be able to grab the wretched remains of Stretch Mommy. So Boogie, canonically, the mechanical spider hand can't grab because it's not trained to do so. Hey babe, hi, how are ya? Yeah, let's get out of here.
Did you kill her?
Yep.
Good. I'll board the train. We need to leave.
I will not get stuck this time. I'm not one of the stucky boys that you guys think I am. I'll have what she's not having. Always stick with a bud. Oh. That sounds like some cheesy shit the bud tender would say at the dispensary to get me to spend more money when they tell me about a fake promotion. Buy 9, get 70 free. Cute. Loading. Who remembers the train code? Gun to your head. Oh shit, hold on. Rabbit? Rabbit, Huggy Bee, Mommy? Huh. Oh, they're colored too. Shit. 3214. 3214. Oh wow. Oh wow. Okay. Oh. Oh, damn. Okay, so now we gotta go. Ready? Watch this. Okay, watch this. Wait. Okay, hold on. No, no. Huh? Make sure to pull the train whistle. Before departure? I had the numbers. Hey, what the fuck? I had it. I'm not stalling because I'm scared. I'm stalling because the synapses in my brain are misfiring. Rabbit, Wuggy, Bee, Mother, right? Red, yellow, red, blue. 3. 241. There's the faith sheet. There's the cover sheet. There's the number sheet. Or the colors have to be this before I press them. See, I was thinking I was too smart for my own good, right? Because I was setting the colors one back, so when I press them, they result here, right? Now my problem was it's actually a sequenced instructions. Part 3 is when you smash the button. So now we go like this. Appears to be a bit of a skill issue. Oh. This is how you press it. This is how you reset the Dog, I didn't know that. See, I didn't know you could do that. I am a winner, low-key. No. I didn't know you could press that. 3. So embarrassing. Boom. 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 Oh. Little skill issue never hurt anyone. But you see my mistake there? I was too smart for my own good. You can't take people who were in advanced classes in high school and then throw them into Poppy Playtime Chapter 2 and not expect them to suffer greatly. Jake, have a good shower. No, Boogie's an only child. People who have siblings don't play video games.
I was so scared she'd put me back in that case. But you saved me. You are perfect. Too perfect to lose. I'm sorry. I can't let you leave.
Oh.
I've never met anyone like you.
Oh,
Do you know how long I've been stuck in that case?
Oh, that's...
Well, too long. I had so much time to think and reflect. Time to figure out exactly what I would do when free. We'll set things right. Terrible things have happened. But I know that whatever I need you to do, you're capable. We will. What if...
When a woman says anything with a slight hint of confidence. So what are the odds a big spider comes up and grabs the train and throws it way up in the air? We're going a little fast, Pops. Don't you want to slow this bitch down? Hey, babe, maybe we should reconsider. I'm yanking it! I'm yanking it! Girl, I'm yanking it! That's gonna cost the company a lot. Oh, I'm fired. Well, that's gonna leave a mark. Get out of town. Guys, you have just bared witness to the hit playthrough. Poppy Playtime Chapter Dose. Thoughts? That was cool. That's the first one. The first chapter is really short. I really like this chapter. If chapter 3 is worse, all hell is gonna break loose. The train needed to be stopped because it was going too fast. Now listen, I'm not gonna lie. I did watch Sammy and Banth play chapter 3. A little bit. No spoilies, but like it looked like they were stuck on a certain monotonous puzzle, so I hope that doesn't happen to me. It's supreme. I'm excited. I mean, I really like this chapter. And there is a bit of mystery. Because like we don't know what this big spider is. Yeah, office dog was cute. Wow, wow, wee wow. Guys, thanks for watching. That was really sick. And I think this is a good time to thank the sponsor of today's stream. Poppy Playtime official story, where you can get Carter the Caterpillar or even Randall the dog. You can even get your own Huggy Wuggy for $32. You can even get Huggy Wuggy Venom Edition. You can even buy your very own mother. Flash, welcome back. Thanks for 27 months, man. Nice, right? Yeah, I figure most people here haven't seen chapter 3 because it just came out a couple weeks ago. The Huggy Wuggy onesie is nuts. Wow. You put the shit on, I am screaming.